So, second round, 0 to hero. We are starting with Cascade, and we have a very, very stacked match after the thrilling match where Dank won over John. We have this time Complex, Eddie, Carti, and Barbos. So, 2 Germans, 1 Dutch player. And then we have 1 player who's not from the European country, a player who's from Chile, if I remember correctly. Yes, he's from Santiago. So this will be a banger of a match because all of the players are really, really pushing it. As you can see in the warm-up already, they are just giving it all. We have a point limit of 100 points. Of course, we play cup mode in a double elimination bracket. So all of the players have won or got first or second place in the prior match in the first round. And now they're battled out for first and second place yet again. We have a random map order, as you can see. We will start with Cascade, then we have Crompots, then Shy from Blur, Weird Flex, and Rise Up. And if this map order is completed, we will start with Cascade again. So if players have passed the 100 points barrier, they have activated the final status and have to win 1 more round in order to grant themselves a ticket into the next round. Point repetition is as usual 10, 6, 4, and 3. And now we're going live with the match here. A really, really stacked match. Let's follow Carti, who maybe underestimates himself a little bit too much. But as we could have seen, he did a good warm-up. Eddie and Complex did it really good as well. As you can see here, they are already a couple of hundreds ahead of their opponents. Carti didn't really get the best out amount of speed in this section. Complex did it really good as well as Eddie. So Carti is also still in the mix. Barbos finds himself 0.26 of a second behind. Complex with a good line. Eddie goes super close to the barrier. So you can see the level of this round 2 is insane. And this is so stacked. This tournament is so stacked. So Eddie now coming closer towards his countryman Barbos here. And Eddie with so much speed. Look at this. Eddie right now in second place. But what a fight here for that second place. Also, they're getting into attack into Complex. But Complex with a very good line. Extends the lead a little bit. So we'll be all in this ending between all the 3 players. Complex can breathe a bit. But it is Eddie coming back with a superior line in this section. Also with a little bit more speed. Barbos also in the mix. And now the last drift will decide it. Who will take that first place? Complex with a little bit more speed. But Eddie and Barbos with a better jump. Though this will be impossible to call. Who will take that first standpoint? Will it be Complex, Barbos, or Eddie? It will be Barbos over Eddie, and Complex dropping down from first to third place. What a great round here. Every player in between 1/10 of a second. Oh my god, what a round. Holy shit. Barbos winning it because he had the better ending. Eddie in second, and Complex dropping down, and only a solace for him, granting himself the 4 points. Wow, what a round. Carti in 4th place, but only found himself 1 second behind the leaders. But this time around, it's a closer start. I think Complex came into touch, so Complex will be out here in this round. Carti and Barbos are right now your P1 and 2. Carti goes a little bit far outside, has a little bit more speed than Barbos, and he will actually overtake him. So Carti up to first place as he has accumulated more speed in this section, and Barbos will actually get overtaken by Eddie as well. So Carti now up to first place, and this is exactly what the Chilean player wants and needs. As you can see here, Eddie 0.2 of a second behind Carti, but Carti with a mistake, and he will get overtaken by even Barbos. So he's out on this round, but he's still in P3. So Barbos between Eddie in this last section here. Eddie does it really good. Finds himself 0.15 of a second. 0.3 of a second over Barbos. So Barbos with a very good line here. But it won't be enough unless Eddie will fail the ending. So only the ending remaining for the THE player. He does it good. Barbos also surviving. So Eddie in first. Barbos in second. Complex even overtaking Carti. And yeah. Yeah, only 6 points for Carti. So Barbos and Eddie both with 16 points. Complex with 8. And then we have Carti only with 6 points. But dude, he's doing so good. He should do that. He should try, man. So let's see what they are doing. So Complex only with 8 points. And this could be the first upset. Complex was a player that I've seen beforehand in the finals. Or that I would have seen in the finals. So Complex has to push it. And right now he's in first place. Carti as well with a good start. As you can see, he has a lot of speed yet again in this section. It's Barbos and Eddie finding himself on P3 and 4. However, it is Eddie who fell a bit behind. Carti with a good trajectory here in this section. Didn't get the best apex though, and therefore it's Complex extending his lead over Carti. Barbos also not with the best line here, or with the best, first half of the track. As we go into the last half, Complex a little bit stumbling here, and Barbos will come closer. So this will be all in this ending section between Barbos and Complex here, the Numelos player against the Elementaries players. Barbos with a good line. Carti, however, is also in the mix, but he won't have a saying here in this ending. So let's follow Barbos. Can he snipe that first base, or will Complex stay in first? Yes, both with a good ending, good angle for all of the players. So Complex in first, Barbos in second. Then we have Carti granting himself 4 points, and Eddie only with 3 points in this round. So, 4th round on this track. It is Barbos right now in first. Eddie with 19 points, so 3 points behind Barbos in second place. And 1 point below that, we have Complex. Carti, however, with a good start. Look at that. So, this is a very, very open match, as you can see. Carti up to first place, and he looks like that he could grant himself 10 points, as he's really getting a good section here. Barbos and Eddie are also in the mix. The German duo is here, and it is the only player who dropped a little bit further behind. It's Complex, finding himself 1.5 seconds behind the leader, who's right now Eddie, because Carti has made a terrible mistake and dropped down to last place. So Eddie off to his way to win yet another round here, and he's really in need of that only 3-pointer beforehand. He's really in dire need of some points, and not lose track of Barbos, who could extend his lead to 7 points already after the first 4 rounds. So Barbos with a good amount of speed, so who will take it here in the end? Eddie has to survive this ending, but Eddie jumps super low, but also Barbos making a mistake, but Barbos able to make that, to grant himself that second place. Carti with a third place again, and Complex finishing in last. But what a wonky ending section from Barbos there, but still looking good for the top 3. Carti is not too far away though, but he really is lacking those 10 pointers. Carti is lacking those 10 pointers, but still 14 points is better than nothing. Better than 12 points, but he needs a second or a first place. So Carti, can the Chilean push it? It is Barbos making a mistake. Eddie with a good start, as well as Complex. Complex with a better line in this section, with a little bit more speed. But also Carti's in the mix, only finding himself 0.15 of a second behind the leader. Carti goes for the attack though, as you can see. Getting a good line, as well as Complex. So they're coming closer and closer towards Eddie here. But Eddie making the mistake, and this is the full stopping. And this is the chance for Carti to grant himself a 10-pointer. It is Complex finding himself 500s behind, but he has more speed. He has more speed than Complex, and Carti will extend his lead to 0.1 of a second. Complex with a sloppy approach here yet again, but Carti didn't get it as good either. So Carti right now in first, but Complex comes closer, and it's all in this ending here. Who will take it? It's Complex risking it, and Complex will grant himself a 10-pointer with a 106.84. And Barbos Eddie will actually overtake Carti here, so Carti is not able to finish. Come on, Carti, go, go. This is your chance to shine. So Carti not finishing this round, unfortunately, on Cascade. But a time under 107 is considerable good. Really, really good time from Complex there. As we go on to the next map, it is Crumpots with a very good author time, with a 105 it was, yeah, 105.222, and the Dedimania is by Psychos with a 105.085. So again, a very, very open map as I think in the first half of the track, and then you have this no jump trickster and the freewheel where you have to go or opt for an outside pole in order to grant yourself a good angle over that freewheel section and gather a lot of speed. So players will approach this turn now. You need to steer to the right just before in order to get your right back wheel came into touch with it first, and then steer to the left when your car is coming into contact. That your nose will go down. So this is the line that you should take. And then you, of course, you have this reuse of the start block here, which is coming up now. You can see the starts here to the left. And the ending is considerably easy. Only a jump to the left. We have to avoid some inflatables. Eddie went for the safe finish, which is not really as slow. Only 0.5 of a second. It's slower kind of. Complex finishing with a 105.64. So a good time. Only 0.5 of a second away from the WR. And we will go now with the first round on Kronos and Omnipods map. And let's go. Carti, the first player who drops a little bit further behind. But we have a battle here. Kronos is right now... Complex is right now in 3rd place. And then we have Eddie and Barbos occupying 1st and 2nd place. But Complex comes back with a strong line. Barbos accumulates a lot of speed in this section. Actually, it is Eddie who fails the speed check. And Eddie is unfortunately not on his roof because you're not allowed to respawn in this competition. Carti can capitalize from this and is right now in 3rd place. But the battle here we should focus on is between Complex and Barbos. Will Barbos grant himself a 10-pointer? Yes, this looks really good because Complex came into touch with the barrier and Carti DNF. Carti, come on. I hate this attitude. I won't write anything to that, but I thought that Carti will not give up like that because he is certainly a very good player and can stand a chance here. So, it is Carti, unfortunately DNFing. Barbos in 1st with a 105.62. Complex in 2nd. And then we have Eddie finishing in 3rd. Finding himself 3.5 seconds behind. The last map is at 19. Okay, no going into round number 2. It is unfortunately Carti who finds himself with 14 points in last place. But therefore the battle here for that 3rd and 2nd and even 1st place, as you can see, is very, very close. Carti with a good start. So you can see he has the pace. He has the pace here. And this is a very, very close round. Look at this. Carti right now in 1st. Then we have Barbos finding himself 0.1 of a second behind the leader. So he's a little bit further behind. Complex and Eddie are attacking Carti here in this section. Now the cruel no jump is coming in. Who's getting it the best? All of the players are getting it good. Eddie also in the mix. Barbos granting himself a very, very good approach here. But it is Complex finding himself in 1st place. But what a close fight here. Can you imagine that this is round 2? Barbos not the best speed outcome for him, but as well as for Carti. But Carti gets a good jump and Barbos is dead. Barbos is dead in this round. Let's follow Eddie here. Eddie could make something happen here. It is Complex still in 1st place. Carti in 2nd. And Carti could deny some valuable points towards Eddie. It is actually Complex in 1st. And it is Eddie. Oh, man. It is Carti DNFing, and sorry that I really got mad about that because Complex did a really good time with the 105.3, but Carti with the DNF, and I hate this attitude. I unfortunately hate this attitude. Why do you practice for a tournament when you don't, when you're not trying? And this is what I hate. But I mean, we have a good fight here for that 2nd place, but it could be Carti who could have been in this fight as well. So Carti, I think I will not spectate him anymore if he's continuing like that, because this really killed my flow. As you could have seen, Complex just dropped a banger of a time, and what a close round. This is again, it is Eddie and Complex battling it out with Carti here, and then we have Barbos as well. So what a great round. The ending is deciding it. 15 seconds to go. Carti with a very good jump here, as you can see. But Complex is extending his lead to 0.13 of a second. But Complex goes super close, and therefore Carti is granting himself a little bit more of a room. Eddie comes closer as well, and Carti could take that 2nd place. But it's actually Eddie who will grant himself 2nd place. Carti in 3rd, and then Barbos in 4th place. Complex with another 105.32. Wow, what a great round by Complex. So he's showing why he's one of the best players out there. So Complex 57 points, Barbos 51, and then we have Eddie with 49 points. Carti unfortunately only with 18 points. So this is not looking good for Carti, as he was deleting. Now we have Eddie making the mistake, and this could be good for Barbos if he grants himself that 1st place. But Complex just seemed to be unstoppable on this track, as all of the players have a very good start. Carti with a tiny tad, little bit more speed. just a mere bit, so not a lot here as you can see, but it is Barbos versus Carti here for the battle for that first place, as we see Complex hopping a little bit further behind, gets a very, very good no jump. Carti didn't get it too good, so it is Barbos actually right now in first alone, but Complex is in a hot pursuit of him granting himself that 10-pointer, but he's so far away, 0.3 of a second. So he really needs to rely on a mistake from the Elementaries player. This could be a tremendous 10-pointer for Barbos here, if he will survive this ending. So Complex looking good to grant himself a 6-pointer. He comes closer towards Barbos, but it's not enough. Barbos in first, Complex in second. Then we have Carti trolling around again and Eddie in third. Alright. So next round is coming up. Round number 5. Last round here on Crompots. And then we will go to a different map with one warm-up coming up. 63 points for Complex, 61 for Barbos. And then we have Eddie a little bit further behind with 53 points. But he can still make something happen. So Carti, the only player who went for that inside approach. But as you can see, it's not as slow. So I would say it's even. It's depending on your line that you're taking over that stretch. So Carti right now in first place, and he could deny some valuable points to all of the players, as we see Eddie finding himself in last place at the moment. Barbos is going for the attack, good speed, as well as for Carti and Complex. Look at Complex speed, he's just smashing his opponents as he's moving up to that first place. So very, very good line there from Complex. Gets that no jump, very good. So Complex on his way to win yet another round here on Crompots. And this is looking very good. Godlike ending section for him as Carti is coming closer towards that second place. Carti is actually saving the ending and will not grant himself the 6-pointer. Barbos in second. Then we have Eddie in third and Carti finishing in last. And another 105.37 for Complex. So what a great time there from Complex yet again. As we go to the next map, it will be... What map will it be? It is Siphon Blur. So a map that we have seen 3 times already as well. One of the, I would say, more difficult map concerning the start. Because you have an approach that you can take. So you can see Eddie is going for that inside approach. And the hit on the triangle, that is optionally, of course. And you can also go for that outside approach. And in this start, you really need to accumulate a lot of speed in this section. And then you have a massive slowdown here again, going to that hairpin. And then this part is very decisive because you can opt for a triangle approach again, as Carti and Complex did in this part. Then some ordinary drifts will come up and another triangle approach in this section, which Carti did not that good. As you can see, it is Barbos right now approaching this warm-up in first. And one crucial part is this part here, where you have to leave it a little bit early to grant yourself that drift that you want. So Barbos did it really good. The ending is not really that hard, only the part before. And so if you touch here, you can't really make it into the risky finish, which is here on the right. But Barbos with a 103.59, so not looking too bad for him, as the WR... Ah, no, wait, I was thinking that the WR was a 102. The WR was a 101.77 by Cole Jr. That's what the Dedimania is concerning. So you really want a time of 102 here in order to grant yourself some points. Okay, going into the first round here. On the map, we see Eddie opting for that risky approach, and you can see he's a tiny tad ahead. 1 car length, it was sufficient for him. Good lines there from Eddie, but as well as for Carti, Complex, and Barbos. So all are in the mix. And now we will go into the cruel midsection, which can be very hard to do. Barbos with a good line goes super far outside, so gathers a lot of speed. So you will just overtake Carti here in this section. But Carti comes back with a strong line. Complex all of a sudden drops down to last place. So it's Eddie still holding strong in first place. But Carti actually making a mistake. And Eddie also stumbling, as well as Barbos. So it is Complex who could maybe capitalize from this wonky section here from Eddie here. But Eddie comes back strong. 1500s of a lead for him. Make it 900s now. So it's all in this ending. 600s for Eddie. All in this ending. 700 still for him. And it could be Complex who could overtake Eddie here in this last stretch. Complex goes for the attack, but it's not enough. Eddie will win this round, and this is super important for him. Eddie in first. Then we have Complex in second and Barbos in third place. Carti DNFing, so Carti won't have a saying in this round anymore. Or in this whole tournament tree, or in this whole match. Because he's only at 21 points. So you hate to see that, what just happened towards Carti. So, Eddie off to a good start yet again, and this is what he's in dire need of. He's at 67 points. Barbos is at 71, and then we have Complex with 79 points. But look at this speed from Eddie here. Look at that. Really looking good. Carti also in the mix. He could deny some points. Complex, look at this risky approach. That was so close for him. Very, very close section for him. And it is Eddie who is extending his lead to 0.08 of a second. So it is Carti who could deny some points. As you can see, he's in second place, but he won't have a saying. Barbos is 0.6 of a second behind, but good section there from Complex, but not the best alignment for him in this section, so he will drop a little bit further behind. So Eddie's still in the mix here, as you can see. Eddie versus Carti in this ending, so let's follow them. It's do or die. Eddie with a very, very good line in this section. The Trackmania Hero player almost making a mistake, but a 102.27 will serve the purpose. So what a great time by him. 0.5 of a second away. Carti failing the ending, Complex in second, and then we have Barbos in third. So Eddie will move up to second place, and it's 2 points between second and third place. What a great round. Yeah, I mean, you hate to see that, and I really hate to see what Carti is doing. He has the pace, but his mindset is really standing in his way. Or maybe his practice, I don't know. But 21 points after like 4 maps, 3 or 4 maps, this is nothing. Yeah, that's a tree longer. I mean, it's just a disappointment. Because Carti is a really good player. And he's missing, or he's giving another player not the chance to perform in this match. But yeah, Carti is dead. He can't finish because respawn is not allowed. Barbos with a mistake. So it's between Complex and Eddie again, as Complex has the upper hand. 0.15 of a lead. He's extending his lead to 0.18 of a second. And yeah, Eddie is just stumbling a bit, but he will be certainly very happy about that 6-pointer here. Because he will move a little bit away from Barbos here in this section. But Eddie with a mistake! And this is not good for him, because this will be a tie now between them. Eddie is able to finish, but not looking good. Complex could save the ending here, but he's not doing so. So Complex with a 102.36 in first. Then we have Barbos in second, and Eddie also finishing, but only barely in third place, granting himself 4 points. So 81 points respectively for Eddie and Barbos for the German players, and Complex is 1 second or first place away of him granting himself the finalist mode. So he could activate the finalist mode on the last round here on Siphon Blur by none other than Clem. Was built by him, but Eddie now not with a good start. So it is Carti's and Barbos' turn to deny Complex the 6 or 10 points, but so far it's really looking good for the Numalops player. As you can see here, it is him granting himself a comfortable lead of 0.16 of a second over Barbos. Carti is super far behind, so it will be Complex who will go into finalist mode if he's not making a mistake in the next couple of turns. 37 seconds into the map, it's looking really good for Complex. He's really extending his lead, so maybe he wants to push it to 101 time. As you can see, he's in the minus. Not anymore, but still a very, very good performance by the Numalops player here. Goes super outside, looking good for him. Not the best approach for him, so Barbos will come a little bit closer in this section. So Complex will still deny some points towards Barbos, and Eddie will be certainly very happy about that, as he grants himself third place. Alright, so it is Complex finalist, and then we have Eddie at 85 and Barbos at 87 points. Next round here, last round on Siphon Blur, and then we will go to the next map, which could be potentially the last map. I have no idea about the order, but we have played 2 maps already. 3 maps already, I mean. And this is the 4th map, if I remember correctly, or the third or 4th map, one of them. And now it is Carti with a good start. Look at this. He could deny Complex the victory here. So maybe Carti's going for that comeback. As he finds himself 0.07 of a second out of Complex. He could deny Carti the victory. And we could see another really upset move in the prior match that I have had. It was another player who denied one other player the victory, and it's all between. They're even in the checkpoint. It is Carti with a very good approach, but Carti with a mistake, and it will be Complex moving into the next round. Only the right-hander here is remaining, and the risky finish. So it will be Complex moving into the next round. GG with a 102.39. Great time for him. Barbos 6 points, and Eddie with 4 points. But yeah, I will say that it's really sad to see that Carti is playing like this. So, yeah. Sorry for my distraction here in some rounds, but it's really killing some hype in those parts. So, yeah. Maybe you can understand that as casting-wise. So, Eddie versus Barbos is the task here. Who will take it? One warm-up on Weird Flex. The W on Weird Flex is a 103.30 by Carl Jr. We have not seen this track today. It is by Thompson. And yeah, it's a different or an interesting FS start where you have to align your car, or we have to go like a little bit into the other direction. And it's a very speedy map, as you can see here. I really like it. It's one of the coolest tracks out there, if you ask me. Eddie not making the warm-up. So it is Barbos, who's the only player who's winning, or who's making it. Alright, so you can see I really love this transition here. It's really, really cool. But you can mess it up, and if you jump too far to the left, you are out, or you're not able to do that. So, Barbos is making it, and also the risky finish is also very cool. You just have to touch the block there, and good luck. Good luck. So 89 versus 93 points. So Eddie only at 89 points. So a victory will not put him into a spot, but both players could grant themselves 99 points respectively, and both get the double slap into the face. But Carti could also deny both of the players, because we all know Carti is not a bad player. As you can see here, he's right now in first place, and he could deny some valuable points. But of course, if he is losing a round, he could make it to do or die. And this is what I mean. It is Eddie right now in first, and Barbos just behind him, 0.2 of a second. And this could be the double face slap for both of the players, for the THE player and the elementary players. They have certainly, yeah, know each other because they're German, and you can see they're pronouncing them with a name. So everything can happen here, but it's looking good for Eddie. 0.5 of a second of a lead as you're approaching the last part of the map, the speedier part, and it looks like Eddie has a little bit more speed, as Barbos didn't get the best landing there in the slope section on the half pipe. So it will be Eddie who will deny Barbos the finalist mode. And now we have a round to chill, because both players just have to finish the next round and nothing really can happen there. Eddie with a 103.83. Good time here from him, as he finds himself 0.53 of a second behind the WR, which is occupied by Carl Jr. As you can see, both players with 99 points. And we have a round to chill now. So no points to deny, but of course Carti is just strolling around. So maybe they will want to push it now. They can risk it. Of course they need to finish, but they could go into the next round with some momentum if they were making it. Carti again with a very, very good start. As you can see, a 0.1 of a second ahead of both Barbos and Eddie. Oh, but Carti again with a mistake and the DNF. And yeah, it's a disappointment to say like that Carti play like that. It's really a disappointment. I know that casters have to be objective, but I want to say my opinion with that. Sad to see that, and maybe you should think about not playing a competition then if your mindset is standing in your way. Yeah, Carti is inting, and I hate something like that, because he could have made such a great final here. So Barbos is able to finish, but he has made the mistake. So Eddie will go with the momentum, with the victory into the next round. Oh no. Oh, that was close. So, it is double final situation. Eddie versus Barbos. Who will take it? Or will Carti deny? But this was super close there. As you could have seen for the player. It was 0.3 of a second. So, it was do or die for both of the players. Eddie with a good start. It is actually Carti with the DNF. And this is the last round of round 2 here. As you can see, Eddie versus Barbos, do or die. Barbos with more speed in this section. Eddie also with a good amount of speed. But Eddie with a mistake! And it is Barbos actually capitalizing from that. So Barbos is ahead. He has just to survive. And this is looking good for the elementary players to move into the round 3 of the From Zero to Hero competition. The last big tech tournament here with a total prize pool of 2,000 euro. So this is insanely good. Barbos just has to survive the ending, of course. But, of course, this is not too hard for him. As he's on a good time even. Ooh, Randstein bug for him. Wonky approach. So he can take it easy. I mean, Eddie comes closer, but I think it's not enough. So let's follow Barbos' last jump here to the finish. Barbos could take it easy here. Doesn't have to risk it, but he will do so. So Barbos will win it over Eddie. GG.